don't know how many of you have seen my previous video, but have a look about PDA, pathological demand avoidance, because that video was a context to this one. So you will get an idea in connection, and you will get an idea because so much of this is there. Then this will make more sense to you. And this one we're going to be talking about what I refer to, I mentioned about in that video, is Oppositional Defiant Disorder, ODD. As compared to PDA, traits are almost similar. Yeah, only that this is listed in DSM-5 under disruptive, impulse control, and conduct disorders, CD, and defined as a pattern of angry/irritable mood, argumentative/defiant behavior, or vindictiveness. I think we are familiar with most of other terms, disruptive, being impulsive. There's something called conduct disorder. It's not exactly relevant, but I may make a video about that later. Irritable mood, common, or argumentative or defiant behavior, being defensive, argumentative. Some of you would know I'm talking about. But we'll go a bit, I'm just gonna go through a bit of thing about vindictiveness. A strong desire to get back at someone. People who hold grudges and seek revenge are full of vindictiveness. That could be on its own, and that could be byproduct of something else going on behind the scene. Anxiety, triggers, depression, PTSDs, you name it. It's in both children and adults, it's in both of them. Contrary to think that these things don't exist in adults. Unlike children with conduct disorder, children with ODD are not aggressive towards people or animals. They do not destroy property and do not show a pattern of theft or deceit. No, this is something to be added here too, so to get the idea right. Hey. Now, being aggressive versus being violent, two different things. And aggressive again, that's the thing, happens very common with autistics, and especially during, which I talked about in my previous videos, in ADHD, hyperfit. And then worse when it meets the full moon effect, which is quite common in happening, but not as common in knowing of people. People don't know as much about it yet. Oh, I don't know what's going on. And I'm not on drugs, I swear. So to correct it, that at times aggressiveness could be just an outlet. Because of those things, aggressiveness could be just you're hurting, you're in pain, blah. And mental, physical injuries, wounds, la la la. Flashbacks, PTSDs. People could be screaming and shouting, just that. I said it exclusively because it could be very easily misinterpreted, understood, mistaken as violent, or as they say, by chance I saw from that article that they're not exactly aggressive towards. They're not aggressive. They just sound aggressive. They do not destroy anything. Not they steal things. Not they deceive people. Whatnot. Was firstly, as it is defined, was firstly mentioned DSM-3 in the 80s, but latest in 2013 DSM-5. I'm going to go to that revised or refreshed version of it. It defined it as by emphasizing a persistent pattern of angry and irritable mood, all right, along with vindictive behavior, rather than DSM-4's focus exclusively on negativistic, hostile, and defiant behavior. Now, updated one is more polished version. Although DSM-4 implied but did not mention irritability, DSM-5 now includes 3 symptoms clusters, one of which is angry/irritable mood, defined as loses temper, is touchy or easily annoyed by others, and in angry or resentful. Children could be very common with children. They could get annoyed or be irritable very easily. You're just playing with them, or someone from same age group is just playing with them, but they just get irritable. They get angry. And same with adults. Just very, very easily. This suggests that the process of clinically relevant research driving nosology and vice versa has ensured that the future will bring greater understanding of ODD, hopefully. It gradually develops and becomes apparent in preschool years, often before the age of 8 years old. If it gives any clues. Now we get to something that will be more relevant, less of yada yada yada, and more interesting, attractive. Signs and symptoms. Check it out. Now, I keep referring to those official backgrounds and contexts and stuff just for the sakes. I'm not sure you might find it relevant. Like, what are we on about, man? The fourth revision of DSM, now replaced by DSM-5, stated the child must exhibit 4 out of 8 signs and symptoms to meet the diagnostic threshold for ODD. It's exactly the same way they do with autism levels and how many characteristics are there. Often loses temper, is often touchy or easily annoyed, is often angry or resentful, often argues with authority figures, or for children and adolescents with adults. Now, adolescent age, for the sakes, I tried to check it out exactly why, is 10 to 19. Often actively defies or refuses to comply with requests from authority figures or with rules. Ooh la la. Now again, now this funny thing I'm going to add to it here. It connects with non-conformity. It connects with rebellion, and it connects with something I heard about from a good time ago. There's another term called sandwich child or middle child syndrome. It's common roughly to say for sandwich child or middle child in like somewhere in between, because they're sibling older than them, they're sibling younger than them. For reason, it's there for a reason. The attention they could or could not get, which could turn them into a bit of rebellion, or the attention they have to share. Very common for them to be rebellion or non-conformist, middle child or sandwich child. But that's the thing. Here is it rebellion here or non-conformity here is the question. So this is where the layers collide or overlap. often deliberately annoys others, can't help it. Could be just messing around, could be trying to play around, could be just hyper. Often blames others for his or her mistakes or misbehavior. It could be genuine, they could be genuinely blaming everyone else, but I've run into many. Kind of remind me of that film by James Dean's famous film Rebel Without a Cause. Quite often they don't want to talk about the reason behind their anger, behind their argumentativeness, behind their hate, behind their aggression. They don't care. It's just there. It's just there. And they blame everyone else or everything else or everything for what happened to them. I've run into fear and I wonder what is it that does it? What is it? I mean, that's the thing. And out of curiosity, for many, I think about it all those things all the time. What does it? What causes it? What makes it happen and stuff? What makes them do it? For, I gotta say, there's good sides in them as well. I've noticed that. There's good sides in them. And like, why is the bad side there? They need help. And yet they're in defiance to that no, I don't need help, I'm alright mate, I don't need help, I'm good. And could come with colorful language to tell you off. Has been spiteful or vindictive at least twice within the past 6 months. It may or may not make sense. It is what it is in a way. That's the thing. So it's like, okay, it tells you a pattern. Now, these were the signs and symptoms. These behaviors are mostly directed towards an authority figure such as teacher or parent. Children with ODD can be verbally aggressive, however they do not display physical aggressiveness, a behavior observed in conduct disorder. Keep in mind. Furthermore, they must be perpetuated, meaning something that goes on and on indefinitely, for longer than 6 months and must be considered beyond a normal child's age, gender, and culture to fit the diagnosis. Something's not right there. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Something is going on. So wait a second, does that person have the reason to be the way they are? Oh, it's over and done with. Why are you still there? No, something is going on and something not normal is going on. Symptom, a sign. For children under 5 years of age, they occur on most days over a period of 6 months. And for children over 5 years of age, they occur at least once a week for at least 6 months. So for under 5 years of age, most days in 6 months period. And after that, once a month is still there for 6 months. It is possible to observe these symptoms in only one setting, most commonly home, thus the severity would be mild. Now when I read it, I was trying to even myself understand the concept behind it. I interpret it is, because that could vary, is because of less challenges, of less authoritativeness, less changes, so less defiance. Things are constant. Same. There's no changes for them to react to. Comfort zone. If it's observed in 2 settings, that would be characterized as moderate, and if the symptoms are observed in 3 or more settings, then it would be considered severe. So it's again a way of testing as well. If the person behaving like this in one setting, how is that person going to behave or does behave in another setting? So you, at the same time, you get to analyze, wait a second, something, no, he was like that. You tally the situation, you observe their behavior, and that tells you things. How are they to changes, how are they to authoritativeness, how they respond to people, la la la. These patterns of behavior result in impairment at school and or other social venues. Impairment, struggling to adjust. Now, I'm going to add something to it. Is what exactly is going on here? The moment I said exactly, the irony is it could not be exactly because it could vary. I'm giving you the prototype, the general thing, but it could vary person to person, place to place. It's more about when a person is defying you. It's less about what you say or what you do. It's more about how you say or how you do it. It's in your sound, it's in your voice, it's in your face expressions, it's in your stare, it's in your body language. Signals could be intimidating. Any kind of signal could be intimidating. Could be interpreted as bossy. Even the voice, the sound of the way you talk could sound bossy. Interpretation. And person can react without reason. And you may be wondering, I didn't say that way, I didn't mean it that way, la 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 la. But that's the thing, that's how it sounded. Reminds me of this, I'm not sure it's a book or something, I have to find it again. I think I can vaguely remember the title. I'm not even sure what's the title, but what a man says, what a woman hears. This connect kind of in the same context as that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So that misinterpretation is the point here. And how is that communicated is the point. As far as when it comes to what causes it, nothing has been really concluded. There's no specific element that has yet been identified as directly causing ODD. Now here, after having said this, I'm going to get to a point, a section where it again connected to, I don't know why I'm doing that so much. When I say how many people really know autism, let alone ASD. Now this is going to tell you what I meant. Comorbidity, which means a presence of more than one disorder in the same person. For example, if a person is diagnosed with both social anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder, I can't at the moment go into detail, but I think you've got a basic idea. They are said to have comorbid, meaning coexisting, anxiety and depressive disorders. Now that's the thing, when those mentioned, anxiety could be mild, severe, low, the medium, comes and goes, how long it lasts, that depends. Same as with the depression. So that's when in those cases, and plus if they are coexisting. So they could, like I said earlier, a person is being defiant or this or that for a reason. There's something going on behind the scenes. ODD can be described as a term or disorder with a variety of pathways in regard to comorbidity. A high importance must be given to the representation of ODD as a distinct psychiatric disorder, independent of conduct disorder. Now, having said this, that's the thing. When it says this, the point here is it could exist on its own and not part of autism or ASD. Because that's where our ASD is many disorders of a like kind get together. Now, when I talk about this, I said mention the symptoms and signs, very common in PDA. In the context of ODD and comorbidity with now I've got to say that I struggle with this word. Somehow I'm able to pronounce it alright, but otherwise this is when people ask how was it for me to talk. So pop, 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 pop. And that would make me anxious, blah, etc., etc. Took me ages to bring some fluency and be able to express, and because of that would make me like I won't be able to respond either. I won't be able to talk, I won't be able to express my tap 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 tap. Won't even know what's going on. Going back, in the context of ODD and comorbidity with other disorders, researchers often conclude that ODD co-occurs with ADHD, anxiety disorders, emotional disorders, as well as mood disorders. Even when I was reading it, I was making my notes. Like, is there a point in writing all this? Is there a point in making notes of all this? La 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 la, this disorder, that disorder, la la la. But then, yes, there's a point. Because they exist. I read about them and I see them. And pointing them out, so maybe if you're watching them, you might connect with this or that. You might go, might help you understand things, relate with things, identify. Who knows? So on purpose, I'm saying things on purpose at times. These mood disorders can be linked to major depression or bipolar disorder. Indirect consequences of ODD can also be related or associated with a later mental disorder. For instance, conduct disorder is often studied in connection with ODD. A strong comorbidity can be observed within those two disorders, but an even higher connection with ADHD in relations to ODD can be seen. There you are. For instance, children and adolescents who have, even another word I struggle with, ODD with coexistence of ADHD will, God, I know, will usually be more aggressive, will have more of the negative behavioral symptoms of ODD and thus inhibit them from having a successful academic life. Kind of makes it obvious. Other conditions that can be predicted in children or people with ODD are learning disorders in which the person has significant impairments in regard to academic area, or language disorders in which problems can be observed related to language production and or comprehension. I hope I made enough points here, made enough sense, said enough so you can get an idea. There's a few other things. At times, as I said in my post, there's a lot I don't talk about because I'm not sure if you would know what I'm talking about. These things themselves are the things that I'm not on purpose. I'm doing that, like I said, many things I mentioned, I kept going on for the sakes, on purpose and stuff, so it might make you feel a bit comfortable with yourself. So many things out there we don't know about. So many things we go through we don't know about. We don't understand them. We never heard of them. for me knowing what the problem, for me knowing 15 years ago roughly that something called autism was a big breakthrough. Still a whole lot of confusion. For me, a few years ago, knowing getting finally diagnosed with high functioning autism was, that was it. Help me understand myself, help me understand the world around me, help me knowing what is it with me. What led me to autism was again the point that I knew there's something different about me. What led me to take that into consideration, what led me to diagnose this thing. I have to know something about it. I have to know. That will help me to know. Instead of not knowing and staying confused, knowing and getting to understand myself, my problem, helps you be yourself, helps you express yourself, helps you be able to talk to people about it. One thing after the other, helps you with your confidence, helps you with your everyday life you live, helps you with every breath you take.